Teach your children to not kill my children because I already taught my children not to kill yours. How anybody got a problem with that? I don't give a fuck whoever, a gangster, a pope, a Muslim, a Christian. That's all I want to speak about, my nigga. Who has a problem with that?
And that's word. That's word.
Now, and that's real for Sasha. You know, we have 2 3 hour conversation. That kind of threw me for a loop for a black woman to say that. And you know, that's why Tupac is my favorite of all time. Wonder why they call you bitch. Like for real, bro. I'm just being real, bro, because that shit bothered me by her saying that.
And that's why we got the homie in here. All right, homie. Listen, you in the building. We appreciate you pulling up. I want you to speak on that particular, all that shit where everybody else, all that. We get back to that some other time. This ain't content right here, my nigga. This real life. This saving lives. Can you speak to that and tell us where that came from? How you feel about that? And emotionally, like I want to know the real you as far as that particular statement, and tell me what route you took to get your kids there, so that way you can give us some game on possible routes we might need to take to get our kids there. And I land. Hassan, the floor yours, homie.
Yo, can you repeat that again?
I said you said something that resonated with me. I don't know who's the author. I ain't give a fuck about it. I heard it from somebody that sound like a person that I used to be or could receive it from. You said, teach your kids to not kill my kids because I already taught my kids to not kill yours. That shit resonated with me at an all-time high. I want to know from you, and everybody in the audience want to know from you, where that came from, what was your passion behind that, and what path you took to teach your kids that, so that way we could possibly implement that in our parenting to teach our kids exactly what you did to yours.
Yep.
So that's deep right there. This is a deep topic. I mean, it's from the elders. You know, in the hood, we always shun the elders because we think they don't know what we're going through, or what we're talking about. But when you look at yourself, when you get to live to see the years that I've seen on this earth, and I get to look at myself as the 18-year-old version of who I was on, September 3rd was my birthday. September 5th, I was on a run for shooting Max on Trio. September 6th, I was on a run for murder from Boston Seacourt. So more or less, when I look at the choices that I had laid in front of me, or what I thought was the choices that I had laid in front of me, everything that was evil was glamorized in the hood. The choices of OGs that I had to look up to, in the dangers that I was like, when I say to people to raise your kids in the hood is child abuse. People don't understand a child should not have to escape death on its way to school, where you got other children trying to stab them up, or other children trying to shoot them, and instead of a sister going out there and buying a Birkin bag or buying a Chanel bag, she could be sitting up there paying a rent that's 2,000 or 2,300, 2,500 to live in a better neighborhood. But instead, we rather put that money on our clothes. So, as a kid, me going through the hood and me having to survive the hood, our children shouldn't have to survive the hood. Our children should not be stepping in pissy hallways. Our children should not know what a crack valve look like, a dope fiend nodding off in front of the building. Like the things that we subject our children to is not normal. So
At
for me,
all.
it would kill me. Like even with my little brother, my little brother had resentment towards me because I pushed him in a different direction when I was in the streets, because I know my mother, for one, I didn't want the streets for him. For two, you know, I know my mother would have hated me if I would have led my little brother to the penitentiary. But on the flip side to that, my little cousin was in the street, and he followed the path behind me because his mother put him out, and I took him in. So he ain't had no choice but for me to show him the ropes, and where that led him to the penitentiary.
Right, right. And you know what, homie? Um, I'm gonna tell you the beauty of this bill right now, right, homie? On this particular stage. We consider this shit the basement, homie. And you know, like all us on stage know that the basement is the foundation of anything, homie. And if we fall, nigga, the whole building might fall. I don't give a fuck what floor you on. You feel me? But more than that, the beauty of this is we having a real conversation. We don't give a fuck about being monetized because you already know we don't get a dime from this type of conversations, homie. So we can have the real conversation without worrying about our page getting taken down or with the strikes. Fuck all that. We want to get to the nitty gritty of this shit. You understand what I'm saying? So it's important, and I salute you for pulling up here because this ain't go. You ain't gonna make $2 off this shit. So it might resonate a little better with the people in the basement. So that's why I'm glad you pulled up and we having this conversation because it's some real pieces of the puzzle that you implement in your conversations online, on YouTube and all that, that I grasp to personally. A lot of other shit I might not take to, and a lot of people might not take to. But that part right there was so major for me because when you said that shit, it was effortless. It didn't need no definition. The word was stronger than the Bible, for lack of a better term. And I wanted to build on that particular part. Other people on stage might want to build some other shit and all that. So when I quoted what you said, I don't give a fuck who the author was. It resonated with me coming through you. That part. And it mattered. And I'm glad you pulled up to give definition to the word I spit. And I just wanted you to speak to that. And salute. Is other people on our stage. It's the bloody bunch, and I'm quite sure people got some intelligent questions to ask you. And hopefully you stay around to give us some definition to day word in our
All
land.
right. All right. Can I restart the room? Welcome to the Bloody Bunch. Hit that greenhouse on the top. I need everybody in here to follow each other right now. I also need everybody in here. We got 79 shares. I need 100 shares in the hallway. It doesn't cost you nothing. This information that we got in here, you can't read this out of a book and you can't buy this out of a fucking store. Thank you. The topic is Hassan Campbell was in the building to set the record straight. Now, I do want to touch on this. A lot of y'all not pinging up because y'all don't want to hear the truth and y'all ashamed to tell people y'all in the room. But one thing I love about this computer lifestyle, you could run, but you can't fucking hide. They know you in here. So you might as well share and ping up. Trust me, they know you in here. It's about 10 burners down there.
Word up.
So
Facts.
stop
Hey, I
being
just want to
ashamed.
say,
Hold on, bro. Who is that talking,
go ahead.
bro?
Go.
Yo, Chip, yo, get him out of here. Get him out.
Shoot
He's
it
a
down.
dick
Keep it
rider.
to the
I don't like
room.
Hold
that
up,
niggas
hold
like that.
up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I don't know what the fuck niggas is doing, man. But listen, one thing that we not gonna do is disrupt the structure of how we move around here. You know what I'm saying? So everybody know what we doing. If y'all got some questions, y'all go ahead and ask us some questions or whatever. You know what I mean? Let's do what we do. But at the same time, let's give him an opportunity to see how we do things around here. You understand what I'm saying? And this goes
No,
for everybody in the room.
no,
So
that's
let's
a
handle
fact. That's a
ourselves the way
fact.
we do it. Go ahead, P.
Yeah, because bro, I was talking and he coming off the mic. He only did that because he's a fan of Hassan. He don't even believe in what Hassan's saying. He's a fan. It's a difference. He been saying that a half an hour before Hassan walked in here. I need y'all to still share in the hallway. I know a lot of y'all got a lot of pride. Y'all think it costs something. It don't cost nothing to share in the hallway. Ping up. Oh, I forgot. There's no negative news. That's why y'all not all in here pinging up. Well, act like it's something negative. Ping up and share in the hallway. You in bloody bunch. We got Hassan Campbell in here. The man could go on YouTube and go live. He's in here with us.
Now, do anybody have anything final they need to ask the homie why he's here that's not disruptive, not disrespectful, and could lead to another level of growth and intelligence building?
Well, before I was shot to the goo, I watch Hassan every day, all day. I be waiting for him to make videos and stuff. He be saying a lot of good stuff. He has a good message. So that's pretty much what I was trying to say. And what you said about I taught my kids not to kill your kids. So teach your kids the same shit. I watch him every day. I seen every video. I'm very in tune to him. You know what I'm saying? He has a good message. He a good brother. And that's all I was saying. And I'm nobody's fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a supporter. You understand me? We all grown around here, and people need support. And I see the brother's mission. And like I said, I support him. And I land my plane. I ain't really had too much to say. That's all I wanted to say.
Salute, salute, salute.
All right, let's get to some real stuff right here. Yeah, hey Hassan, where you at?
What's up?
I you already know what you know what I mean, the type of world that we moving towards, with a cashless society and all that. You know what I'm saying? Banks closing down. You know what I mean? Some people are not familiar with Sweden. They already moved towards the cashless society. You know what I'm saying? They ain't dealing with no physical currency. So I want you to touch on that. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, we pretty much we headed towards digital slavery, and I give y'all an example. Just every time I go to I go shopping, right, and I go to urban stores, my card declines, so I got to go to the bank and withdraw cash so I can go shopping. Now, when I go to Best Buy, Walmart, or one of these stores, that's part of the elite. I never had that problem with my card. But every time I go to an urban area, and you know what I mean, for me, it's like how they say you download. I download from the ancestors from the universe, and that's a sign. After a while, when you start getting your card declined and you go into certain stores, it's going to gear you in a different direction. So they programming you where to go and where not to go already. Social media, when you sit back and you analyze the like, share, and subscribe, that like, share, and subscribe shit is how they made their hit list. And this new world order, the way of thinking that you have, they already eliminated who they wanted to eliminate, or rather, they already put on a list, that Santa Claus list. How they say that he's making this list, he's checking it twice, he's going to find out who's naughty or nice. Well, all of us that like, share, and subscribe to shit that goes against the Illuminati, we're gonna have a problem real soon. All the stuff that just happened with the test drive, the COVID-19 was a test drive. They tested you with the riots when you went outside and you started burning stores down. They knew exactly what you was going to do because they sent agitators out there to do it, to help to sway your mind towards that. Now
Absolutely.
when you sit back and you now when you sit back and you analyze, look at how all the stores are being closed down. Walmart's closing down, Sears closing down. The only store damn near left open is Target. GameStop's is closing down. Toys R Us is everything's closing. So they basically getting ready for the countdown. Doomsday is man made. Doomsday is coming from them. When you watch the Georgia Guidestone being destroyed, and it just blew up by a bomb, and they blew up on the Georgia Guidestones. If you don't know about them, they real tall stones the size of a building that says on them basically that they're going to reduce the world's population down to 10%. Their agenda is 2030. By 2030, this is supposed to already be done. So now, once they hit us with this earthquake, with this tsunami, with the trumped up, if you paid attention in the last 20 years, the storms been getting worse and worse. They're trying to make you believe that it's global warming. It's not global warming. It's not global warming. It's HARP. They have machines to do that. Certain areas that you live in is going to be contaminated with all that waste that's coming out of the trains and the barges that's just leaking over in the ocean. So what they're doing is they're creating the 15-minute cities. When you go to shop, you're going to shop the same way, like the same way we doing with our cards right now. Everything is going to be digital. You will not be able to sell drugs the way you were selling drugs back in the days and stash money up under your own your bed. It's over with. Now we have to figure out how to hustle online, and then everything's being taxed. When you got money coming in, money come out, you can't hide it.
So
We are aimed and we're going towards right now digital slavery. If you find yourself homeless, because everybody a paycheck or two away from being homeless, if you find yourself homeless, Certain states that you get caught up in, that's a crime.
Hey, hey,
This is a war on
Hassan,
the
you know why I
poor
know you right about
and
the
to eliminate the
machine?
middle class. You're gonna either be
You hear me? Know why I know you right about that? 'Cause when I was a kid, I used to watch a cartoon, Simon Bar Sinister. This nigga had all kind of machines, make it snow, make it rain, and everything. See what I'm saying? And they was showing us ahead of time what this thing gonna be. People got to pay
the
attention to
I'm
movies
sorry I missed
and
it.
gotta pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah, that actually, that's Harp. And before that, they said
yeah.
is the Eastland pattern or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, it gets crazy. So let's tap into this real quick, right? So you already know, what I mean, if you got $1 million in the bank, you try to pull it out, you already know you ain't gonna be able to get that like that, right? You gotta go through a lot of channels. So with that being said, once they move completely towards this cashless society, and let's just say Hassan, they decide to say, something, we ain't gonna give you dollar for dollar. We're gonna give you 60 cents on the dollar. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that? You know what I mean? And the fact that they will be able to do it, because what you gonna do? You gonna say, no, I'm not gonna accept the 60 cent, I'm gonna take nothing. Let's talk about it.
There's a good possibility you're not even gonna get that. 9 times out of ten, there's a very good
Mm.
possibility that you're gonna get 2 pennies on your dollar. Right now, what they're doing is they're wiping out the middle class. This is a war
Talk
on
about it.
the middle class, and it's not just going to be a war on the middle class, but you got to understand as well as it's also a war on property owners and homeowners. They don't want you to own any home anymore. So what's going to happen is, due to the earthquakes that's about to turn up, we about to get hit with earthquakes like we ain't never seen before. New York and California is about to get hit with a tsunami. Probably, honestly speaking, I think it's going to happen between this year and next year. But within the next 5 years, you're going to see big parts of Los Angeles wiped out, New York as well. And see, my whole thing is I want y'all to understand, right? If y'all pay attention to what's going on with me right now, when my page got hit, I didn't say nothing. Some of these bloggers are agents. They started dictating or saying, or they started predicting what I was going to say about what happened. I just didn't say nothing. I took it, fell back because I understand what's going on. The times that we are living in right now are very, very critical. The clock is ticking and there's no turning back. So the only thing that we can do right now at this specific time is to try to make sure we stack up on food and water, and more water than food, if anything, because after 3 days of not having no water, you're dead.
So, but
Rivers are
Hassan,
drying up.
let me interject what you said because I'm from California and I'm not there anymore, and I haven't been there for 30 years. But when I left California, all I kept thinking was, y'all about to have that major goddamn earthquake. Y'all about to have that major goddamn earthquake. And that shit never happened for 30 goddamn years. Um, waiting for it. And it, where I am, we had an earthquake. I'm like, how am I gonna have earthquake? When I wait for y'all to have earthquake in LA. And they didn't. They still haven't. So I think that the threat isn't the earthquake. The threat really truly is China. The threat really is
Nuh-uh.
China,
No, 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 no,
not the
no,
earthquake.
sis. What you have to do is, what they're not telling you is the earth is going through labor pains already on its own, as well as HARP. So the earthquakes have been happening, not just not the big one. What you have to understand is that they're going to turn the machines on and they're going to turn this earth upside down. For the last 20 years, especially in the last 10 years, they've been going extremely hard on building their doomsday bunkers. COVID-19 was a test to see who's who and what's what. COVID-19 also exposed that our political leaders, which we don't have anymore, is now rappers, actors, and activists like Mike Saw and Tamika Mallory. The key thing that everybody was supposed to listen to, right? When Tamika Mallory and Mike Saw first got on the news, Tamika Mallory was really upset. She started flipping. When she said, y'all sent your agitators out there, which was on what they call them, Antifa.
Wait, 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 wait,
So
wait.
Antifa,
Hassan. hold on,
They
Wasan.
provide
Wait,
they
Juicy, take
Haas,
it
they
back to
call professional provocateurs.
wait,
Agent
Juicy, check it.
provocateur. Agent provocateur.
Yes, yes, I got you. Give me 1 second.
So when they send them out there to basically do what they did, have our children running up in pharmacies, destroying mom and pop stores in Harlem, and I mean the Bronx. You know,
Now they ain't do that
if
in Harlem.
not Harlem, Harlem protected Harlem, the Bronx. It was mainly the Bronx
Yeah,
though.
yeah, but
So what
all
you
them
got to
niggas
see
was
was
downtown, Hassan. I was there. They sent me home because I was too old.
right.
I was down. They was downtown. He was wilding out.
So when they tested us, they see what our response is, but they wasn't just wait. They wasn't just waiting to see what the little people was going to do. They was trying to see what the intellect, what the intellectual minds was, and how the intellectual minds are moving. You have groups of people that's not on the internet that's actually preparing for these ugly days, and we don't know who
Exactly.
they are because they're not going to get on the internet and talk at all.
Yo,
What we're doing, they're not going to do.
they doing that in Harlem right now. Like right now, they burning shit down, like acting like it's like accidental when they really trying to push niggas out. Dead ass. A lot of the stores that they was trying to buy because they want to expand their property and shit, they pushed them out. Niggas turned them offers down, and what happened? 2 3 days later, the whole block burning. Now they get the, you know what I mean? They get what they want now. So that shit it's crazy. Like you talking that shit, son. And them heart machines, that's real talk. I learned that
Hey,
about that in like high school.
hold on. Hey, Hassan, tell them about the machines that when you go to a riot, right? They go to a riot, they can turn that shit on, you can fall to your knees. Tell them about the machines they got that that could target you by your DNA, by your race status. Tell them about that.
Those machines that they got can make you have a heart attack. It can snatch the
Exactly.
air from up out of your body. They have sound frequencies that can melt your organs. They don't even have to shoot you. And you won't even.
Right.
You'll be getting attacked, and you'll be thinking that that like how they say it now. They're preparing everybody for the alien invasion. Before they didn't want you to know nothing about aliens, but now they're predicting the alien attack. Now mentally, we have to get
Hey,
prepared
hey,
for that because the way they're gonna come at us, the way they're gonna come at us, we are going to beg for their help. When people, when homeowners don't have their home no more, it's going to because like if you paid attention, right, in certain areas every year, tornadoes go through and destroy the farmlands or the home people. The people that pass they own their properties down from slavery before slavery. Those are the areas that's being hit with all those bad storms. Louisiana, New Orleans, with Hurricane Katrina, all that area right there, what they're not telling you, they are so diabolical. They broke those levees so they could take the properties and kill off the people that lived over there so nobody can claim that.
Facts.
And the sad part about it
hey,
is, see, I don't like to play the race card because I've met good white people, bad white people. But the minute that the chaos started, if you listen to the documentaries that they started taking down off of YouTube, some certain people in white neighborhoods started killing their neighbors that was living there the whole time with them because there was no law to protect. So
hey,
automatically they started turning their guns on black people and killing them.
they killed three, 400
Let me
black
ask you a
people in New
question.
Orleans when that shit popped off.
Let me ask you a
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Like they
word.
talk about how now the East Coast is about to experience tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes. You think
We
that's true?
already experiencing them,
Yeah,
yo.
that's what I'm saying. It's gonna come more. It's gonna happen more though.
The East Coast is going to get hit with one of the biggest tsunamis ever, and that may be in between this year and maybe the next. But between this year and the next 3 years, New York and California is going to get hit bad. Right now, what you have to understand, all of these countries, right? Peak game. And when they say it's chess, not checkers, all of these countries are in this shit together. They acting like they beefing with each other, but they're not really beefing with each other. What they're doing is they're preparing for one world currency and one world leader. In religion, they tell you that that's going to be the Antichrist or whatever the case may be, regardless of what. This is what they wrote, and this is what they've been passing down for generations. People think that you're going to vote your way into power. You're not. These niggas is never giving up their missiles for nothing. And the same people that's been in power. has been in power for thousands of years. Every time the earth has been destroyed, the same mountains that people sit up there and tell you, oh, that's the Caucasus Mountains. Like, nah, that's your refuge. You're going back into the earth.
That's a fact.
You don't even
Wow.
understand what's in those mountains. They just try to tell you, they try to make you believe that it's just dirty white people inside those mountains. They fooled you. Some of those mountains got rivers and cities inside of aliens and alien technology that you ain't never seen. They fooled you.
Peace,
That's a
peace,
whole
peace.
fact.
Your homie Hassan. Salute, right? Yo, we respect your perspective on many of things, right? But it's a certain aspect that I feel that this is me personally. I'm not mandating, but just from the history and listening, it's something that I don't feel you pressing enough. And it's important that I explain that to you because I think you need this perspective, right? At the end of the day, homie, you've been through trauma that a lot of men and women been through, right? And for me personally, I feel that specifically need to be your fight, your stage. Fuck all the other shit. That's great. We get to that later on down the line, homie. It's an aspect that you dealt with. You was open and vulnerable enough to to put out there to the world. And it's men and women alike that been through exactly what you've been through, but are not brave enough to speak about it, put it out there, and seek help. You understand what I'm saying? Like, homie, like my thing to you is, homie, why is that not your exact and is like why that's not your fight? Why that's not your purpose? Why that's not your direct intention to help people that been through the shit you've been through, nigga? It's zillions of people that been through what you've been through, my nigga. And it hurts me sometimes because I listen to you and I'm like, yo, this nigga got the voice that need to be had for people like them. Why that's not the exact thing you shooting at, homie? Fuck, little jerk did this nigga did that, bullets got it. Fuck all that. You been through some real shit that niggas been through, bitches been through, and you ain't hitting that spot enough, my nigga. What's the issue? Why not?
Can I take
I'm
this
glad you asked that question.
Hassan?
All right, fuck all
No,
this
I'm
side
glad.
shit.
I'm glad you
Go,
asked that question. Now,
go.
so now, for one, I've been on social media for 7 years. I'm behind Patrice coming out on X Clan. If you don't know who X Clan is that group that says you're protected by the red, the black, the green. That's one of the founders of hip. That they from the beginning of hip
Johnny
hop.
Carson's
They from the
something.
Bronx, right? I've been out there supporting some of the Dr. York victims, right? I've been around for years dealing with this topic, but see what you have to understand is that if I would have just stuck to that topic, nobody cares. That's the topic that nobody wants to hear. That's the topic that nobody cares about, and that's the topic that's damn near costing me my life right now. Where people don't understand the things that I'm going through behind the scenes. So in order for me to get my message out, a nigga had to start touching on other topics. I went hard on that topic for 5 years straight. And people don't even understand the mental breakdown of that. People didn't sit up there and say, okay, we're going to come to your aid and we're going to help you. What they did was they turned me into the victim in Africa Bambaataa into the hero. So now self preservation, when people are trying to destroy you, automatically the only thing that you could do is put a force field around yourself. On top of the fact that it's easy for somebody to tell me what I should be fighting and how I should fight when my kids got to sit up here and look at their dad like, why they doing this to you, daddy? So now what everybody has, because it's not just me being abused. Now my family is being abused with this. When they got to look other people in their faces and hear these kind of questions. Well, why you did this? Why you did that? Why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do that? Why nobody asked Bambaataa why he did all these things? How did my name become willing participant? So once you go through so much abuse, it's like you can't take it anymore. It's like being in a domestic violence situation. You're gonna hit that woman for the last time, then she gonna walk, and you ain't gonna never see her again. After a while, it was like, you know what? If all of my people is gonna be the ones attacking me, then how could I fight this fight? The fight is over with. Everybody then came together and basically said that I'm guilty of being touched by a grown man, and then lied about my age, kept changing my ages, took pictures that I put on the internet to prove and show that, first of all, some of those pictures was there before I flipped on Africa Bambaataa, made it clear to everybody that man raised me. He was like a father to me. So even after the molestation, I was still around him here and there because the man raised me, just like there was other people that molested me. That's something that goes on in the black family that we play dumb about. Some of y'all that's listening right now, sitting in the same room on holidays with people that touched y'all, or you sitting in the room with children that you're touching right now, hoping that they don't never tell. A lot of people don't like to touch on this topic because a lot of dudes, they first or second baby mama was like 10 or 15 years younger than them. So of course they don't want to have this conversation. This is the conversation that nobody wants to have. The question is not why I'm not talking about it no more, is why the people don't come to my aid and say we support you and we standing by you. Why so many black men sit up there and laugh about what happened to me like it's funny? The nigga Troy Ave said in his diss song, a nigga looked like Hassan Campbell's asshole. Like that was supposed to be funny.
Hey, yo, Hassan, man, I've been walking with you from day
Hey
one
yo,
since
when
you.
y'all from now on, when y'all come in here and talk, say your name first. Say
Okay,
your
my
name so
name
he
is
could know
DJ
who he
Smack.
talking to.
Salute to the room. Salute to the room.
Can I say something?
My name
Because I'm in the back
DJ
channel with
Smack. Hold on,
PP.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
I'm
on,
in the
hold
back
on, mama.
channel with PP, and PP said he was moved down to the
Hold
audience
on,
and
mama.
couldn't
Just let
come
me get this
in.
out. Let me get this out, mama. Yo, Hassan, I've been walking with you from day one. You was brave. You came and you told your truth. You actually brought me through COVID. Like I said, I watched you build this shit from the ground up. You's a real nigga, and I fucks with you the long way. Niggas be hating, and they be on that bullshit. And I ain't never been a hater. I ain't got a hater both of my body. You know what I'm saying? So I see when a nigga is coming up and building himself and expanding as far as spirituality. You understand what I'm saying? So I appreciate niggas like you. You know what I'm saying? Other people don't, but I appreciate niggas like you. So I just want to say salute to you, my guy. And that's it.
Thank you. I appreciate you, fam.
And with that being said, I just want to say, homie, like at the end of the day, homie, like you pull up to this particular space, my nigga, we not weaponizing whatever you've been through to put you in the mindset of a person that did something wrong when you wasn't in the position to make the right choices. Somebody else took advantage of that fact. You know what I'm saying? This space right here, the Bloody Bunch, is a space that people could come to and express their truth, and we gonna make sure it's respectfully received or not. You understand what I'm saying? So I never want you to come here and think, damn, it might go wrong. Somebody might say something, nigga, shit goes, already know. People in the street could say something crazy, but we go make sure we try to create the best space for you to express yourself and whatever you got going on. And with that being said, if somebody else come on this space that don't necessarily agree with your perspective on things and they express themselves, we gonna allow that to a certain point. We ain't tolerating disrespect that's not backed by the evidence, the paperwork, the real right shit. You know what I'm saying? Bullets Gotti, he pulls up here every so often. He speaks his truth according to him, and we allow a little piece of that. But he already know that we ain't gonna allow him to go all the way crazy with nothing if it ain't supported by the rest. He been pinged. He could pull up. He already know that he could pull up. You know what I'm saying? But he got to speak on proof. We ain't speaking on lies, my nigga. We ain't doing that over here.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
And I
like this,
appreciate.
right? If anybody for all the people that said that they've been watching me throughout the years, right? What could a man say about a man that did everything to help him? I laid out the red carpet for that man. What could a man say about a nigga that did everything to help you? Don't tell me what I didn't do for somebody else. What did I do for you? That's the question. What did I do for you? Like my whole thing is like this, right? What I want people to understand. I could take some of you people out of this group right here and bring on my platform, and you're gonna be just as big as him. Now the key to it is, right? When I pass that torch to you, do you have what it takes to carry it by yourself? When I went on Doggy Diamond's platform, Star's platform, on all the platforms that I went on in the beginning, none of those brothers came on my platform to help support me. None of those brothers told anybody to come. Oh, go support Hassan Campbell's page. With Bullets Gotti, he'll tell you that I don't tell people to go support his page. Nigga, every time I do a stream, y'all, you sitting there next to me. I made you a household name where everybody, you got celebrities that know your name. The problem is that Flavor Flav wasn't shit without Chuck D. But then after a while, Flavor Flav found his own lane in Flavor of Love. He found his nick. But for the most part, Flavor Flav was a hype man. Spliff Star. Everybody knows who Spliff Star is. Spliff Star is nothing without Busta Rhymes. I gave all I could to own Bullis Gotti. When he thought I was down and out, he decided that he wanted to trash me, and that's what he did. And the audio's on the internet. Everybody heard the audio, and the only thing he could do is tell lies to justify him snaking a nigga that didn't do nothing wrong to him. He's gonna sit up there and tell y'all, "Oh, I'm not going to diss Haas." You did when you sat up there and told them niggas my business. Friends don't do that. My friends don't sit with my enemies. But in today's time, with this social media shit, niggas don't know their boundaries. I'm not gonna sweat the loss of Bullets Gotti not talking to me or him making diss videos anymore because the reality of it is Bullets Gotti got to get his priorities together. He got to move out of his grandmother's house. That's number one priority. A man can't let his nuts hang unless he can pay some bills. And at 27, 28, 29, going on 30 years old, you're supposed to have a wife and kids. You're supposed to have a family structure. So before you jump out there and you start talking about everybody for one, for two, when you sitting up there and you talking about gangsters, Bloods, Crips, you talk about fighters, niggas that get busy. When I met Bullets Gotti on the internet, the little nigga got robbed on the internet. During the time when he got robbed, before he got prior to him getting robbed, he was making fun of me being molested, dissing me, disrespecting my family with other YouTubers. Them niggas was telling people I slept with my moms, all types of crazy shit. When he got robbed, I told everybody, yo, leave that little nigga alone. Everybody. When they realized that he was in streets, but he had a name like Bullets Gotti, Bullets Gotti. You gotta be the illest nigga. You got bullets in your name and John Gotti too. But then you see this little nigga being robbed by Mexicans on the internet. And they smeared the little nigga all over the internet. And I took the little nigga and embraced him, gave the little nigga a hug, and been rocking with him ever since. And the minute that he thought my page was down and out, that's when he attacked me. Oh, it's over for Haas. This, that, this, that, this, that. He believes that it's over for me because he's talking to my enemies and they telling them strategically what they're gonna do to my page.
So,
And
so
some of these niggas that was rocking with me, some of these Mars was rocking with me. They know what videos to strike with the flag, what parts to highlight. You ever
so you
notice you see certain people? None of
mhm,
my videos is up on YouTube, but some of these niggas got videos that go back 7 years on their page. Ask
that's a
yourself a
fact.
question. Who's that diabolical? Like, for example, the nigga Wax Dog. Somebody got to ask him how he got videos stored for the last 7 years on Hassan Campbell. That's not normal. Nigga, my wife don't even have my footage. If I died right now, my wife couldn't pull up my catalog from 7 years back.
Nah, that's a
So
fact,
why does
Hassan.
he?
I don't
Nah, that's a
respect
whole
nothing that
fact,
Bullets got
Hassan.
he's doing, you heard?
Cause
That nigga's trying to play with what you went through in the past, but he got full blown gay pornos on Pornhub. Make it make sense.
Y'all actually
nah,
seen that?
nigga.
Because I never seen
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's on there. It's on there. He was
Yo,
definitely sucking
Haas,
and trying to
one
dick.
second, one white, one blood, man. Yo, what's going on, man?
Wow. What's good? Who's this I'm speaking to?
Man, never who that, man. You know who this is, man. This is nigga that. I know Mano reached out to you. You already know who this is. This your brother, man. For real, this your brother forever. You know who this is, nigga. You know, Bullets came up
Okay, what's
into
good?
this room. Bullets came up into this room. Garda King, Versace. They wouldn't let him speak about nothing bad about nobody. You heard? Like that nigga don't come here with like actual factual. He gets dismissed, man, like everybody else, you heard? Like, this room has kept it thorough. Like, when this nigga, whack, we gonna go right past that, was talking about certain niggas bringing up their names. This the room that got that shit right, you heard? You know what this
Right.
is, right?
I'm not sure. That's why I was asking.
Shit, I raised you. I raised Wild Bill. I raised motherfucking Kaka. For real. I was probably the oldest adolescent, nigga.
Who this shot? Oh, this shot 120.
I love you, boy. You know what it is, nigga. Do your thing, nigga. Shine, nigga.
It was good, boy. Okay.
See, this the type of
God
environment
damn.
right here. You know what I'm saying? It's the environment. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean. Also, let's do this at the same time, right? Because this the bloody bunch, not the Brady bunch. So you know what I mean. Let's get this out of the way. You know what I mean, so we can really, really get clarity.
Facts.
You know, so Hassan. You know what I mean. We know what happened with the whole Bambaataa thing. We ain't gonna relive all that. But the only question that people have is they say like later in your years there was a picture where you was kind of cool with him. It seemed like you kind of forgave him or whatever. Explain that picture. Explain your stance mentally with Bambaataa. Have you forgiven him? You know what I mean? Have you looked past that? Things of that nature. Let's talk about it.
Well, what people got to understand again, like I said, matter of fact, you want to know what's funny? Now that Shy 120 is up in there, I remember we had a specific conversation. Niggas was in the day room. This is when I first got to jail, and the Zulu anniversary was going on, and my brother Bo was on music video box, and he was shouting out, he was talking. So when I came in the day room, Shot 120 was like, well, he did shout out the Zulus that was locked up, the ones that was locked up. So automatically he was talking about me. And I was like, nigga was just teary eyed or whatever the case may be, because that was me seeing him actually on the TV screen. Then right after that, he came to see me on Thanksgiving.
I remember that.
Around Yeah, and you like I looked at you and you said to me, and you said to me, you was like, yo, he did shout out the Zulus. The crazy part about it, shot these niggas be talking about I wasn't in jail for murder. Like I remember when I was in jail, niggas stole from me. And Sha made niggas go to trial. Sha could tell the rest of this story because I know you gotta remember that shit. It was Scar, it was Mel Murder, Scar, Mel Murder, and
I'm
D
gonna tell
Black.
you something. I'm gonna tell you something. Whatever you telling in this room, guess what? My bros, every one of my bros got all my four of my corners in here. It's four corner locked down in this bitch, right? They know it's a fact. You ain't gotta ask shot nothing. Your word is golden, nigga. Speak.
Another one of our brothers just pulled up to Zeke Black in the building. The Wolves
Salute,
Entertainment. You
salute to the
already
homie.
know.
Salute, salute, Zeke
Feed the
Black.
Salute
wolf.
Zeke Black.
Zig was good, boy.
Yeah, Hassan, keep building, homie. We on you.
So, so more or less, when it came to Africa Bambaataa, like again, what I try to explain to people, the man raised me, and the way I was raised, child molestation. I was being molested since I was like 5 years old
Ah, man.
by different people. Bam wasn't the first person to molest me. So make a long story short, when I came home from jail, Bam was still in my life, not sexually. He was having sex with me. The nigga was like my father. I tell everybody this. That man was like my father, and throughout the years or whatever the case may be, I wasn't really rocking with Zulu too tough because of the way, things happened with BO when he got murdered by my brother in law. Sex Money murdered David Mullins, not Pete. Pete did not murder him. It was David. So it was a lot of things that, just made me look at the whole family, the whole structure sideways. Now, I would see Bam on occasions or whatever the case may be, here and there when I came home from jail. Like when I first came home from jail, Bam took me shopping, gave me money, put money in my pocket, whatever the case may be. Um, from time to time, he give me books and herbs and stuff like that to read or whatever the case may be. Not all this shit where they sitting up there saying, "Oh, this man was in a relationship with him." Nah, that nigga was like my father. And not only just that, when I tell niggas that the nigga was my getaway driver in that murder case. And when niggas be like, "Oh, this nigga's a snitch," no, I never told on him. He never got locked up. But I'm just letting niggas know for the man to sit up there and say that he didn't know me. No, that's how far we went. That's how far niggas went. That's how deep it was in the streets. I actually caught a body with the Godfather of hip hop. Real shit. So make a long story short, those pictures that was up on social media, those was pictures throughout the years. Me and Ben was still cool during those years up until I just like, yo, I couldn't keep the nigga secret no more. And I told a story on that. I couldn't keep the nigga secret no more. After he got stabbed, the nigga gave me a picture of a nigga that looked just like not just like me, but he was like, he looked like me. Young boy. Something happened with the nigga inside his house. Young boy went in the kitchen. I met as a black belt. Nigga stabbed Ahmed up. Ahmed is the type of nigga that won trophies like all over the world fighting in tournaments. That nigga stabbed Ahmed up, stabbed Bam up. Both of them was in the hospital. A million of us standing outside the hospital when Bam came home, and he this is the first time I'm in in like in the Pelham area, the Mount Vernon Pelham area. So this is the first time I actually been in this place because I ain't seen Bam in years. Everybody just wanted to know why the nigga got stabbed up. Now when I get to the nigga place, uh, Porter Rock outside, me and Jerry there, a few other people, whatever the case may be, walking around protecting the nigga. So I go inside the house. I want to see where the nigga got stabbed at. And when I looked inside Bam's room, I'm like, all right, I already knew something wasn't right. The nigga room was the way the nigga room was set up. There's no walking space outside of his bed. So it's like, all right, what the hell both of y'all even doing in a small room like that? You know, they started telling the story. The story was funny. The story was all funny. So I knew what time it is. He gave me the picture of the young boy. When I went outside the house, I was talking to some brothers that I knew, and one of the brothers was like, yo, Bam got locked up in Brazil. Because I started telling him something ain't right about the story. So he started telling it, listen, Bam got locked up in Brazil for touching the little boy out there. So now I'm looking at the picture of this young boy, and it's like I already knew what time it was. Plus, on top of that, inside the hospital, the first thing Saladin said to a nigga, he was like, "Yo, Pop, you don't get involved in that. You going to hell." So when he said that, I knew it was foul play.
Wow.
When we was in the hospital, I didn't see Bam in the hospital. I didn't see Ahmed in the hospital because they wouldn't let none of us in the back. So we all was just standing outside. Like nigga, it was like there was so many niggas outside the hospital. But the crazy part about it is people keep asking me. You ask me why all those killers was outside the hospital. I mean, like 99% of the niggas that was standing outside that hospital got molested by that nigga. He all caught niggas when they was young boys.
Damn, bro, this shit is
Damn, so why ain't
crazy.
nobody
God
knock his
damn.
noodle loose?
Yo, so
Nigga, let
why
me tell you
nobody
something.
got his noodles
Yo,
over
could I say
socks
one
though?
thing? Could
Listen,
I say
listen,
one thing
listen,
real quick?
Cause
Could I
that
just say
nigga
one
was
listen.
thing?
Let me
Yo,
answer
Haas.
that.
Yo, Haas,
Let
let me
me let
just
me
yo,
let
hold
me
up.
answer that.
Before you get to that, Haas, before you get to that, I'm gonna tell you something, man. You know what's strange, man? That when you came through the four building, I would have never knew, man, because the way you carried yourself, man. Like, you was just like Wild Bill, you was just like Kaka, Ring Dog, God Bless the Dead, Albany. You were just like, because you was in the house with all of us, bro. So I would have never knew, man. That's the crazy shit about this life. You just never fucking know, bro. Go ahead, go ahead.
And so in those days, like you gotta understand something. The caliber of niggas that the Zulu Nation brought every gang in New York City together. So every dangerous gang from every borough became a part of that family. Now you have to look at all the rappers that was a part of the Zulu Nation. Every rapper had their own entourage that empowered that Zulu. Queen Latifah was down with it. You got Fat Joe down with the Zulu Nation. You like LL Cool J. Even in the mix, niggas was there, right there when LL Cool J and Ice T squashed they beef that was in Bronx River in the middle of the center. So it lets you know all of the families that was down with that. Like Zulu Nation was so strong. Like we're not talking about the meetings where you got the young kids coming in there and being taught their infinity lessons, their 5% lessons and all the lessons that they brought together, teaching the young kid. Now we talking about the niggas that was in the streets. There was people that one of the victims on Africa Bambaataa right now that I spoke to. I had a conversation with him just recently, and he told me about, I ain't gonna even say the names, but some of the brothers that I like respected. He said he told on Bam before in those days, and they threw the nigga down a whole flight of steps. They threw the nigga down a whole flight of steps, and the niggas that threw the nigga down a whole flight of steps was mass. Son, these niggas was different. They was totally different. They're not regular dudes. And the Zulu Nation was filled with a lot of niggas. If you would have did that, if you would have even tried to kill Bam, like there was a time, and I told the story on my page where me and my co-defendant Eric Bennett, we was in Bam's house, and it was weird because we was in his house in Parkchester after I came home from jail. That was the day I was gonna kill Bam. I was gonna kill him that day, and I was joking around with Bam like I could kill you right now, but I wasn't joking. And he was like, "Go ahead, you ain't gonna get out of my house." So me and Eric went to the door to try to open up the door. We couldn't get out that nigga house. He walks to the door. He just touched the door and the door opened. That's what stopped me from killing the nigga. So now, after all these years, Eric didn't know what happened to me neither. So when I spoke to Eric from jail, he was like, "Son, you was gonna kill him that day, really? You really was gonna kill him that day?" Yeah, Eric knew it then, but he didn't know why. And he didn't know I was really gonna kill him. He just seen it. He just seen something was there. I was gonna kill him that day. The day that I exposed Africa Bambaataa, what niggas don't know, the day that I exposed Africa Bambaataa, I exposed the nigga, or rather the meeting that we had. The meeting that we had, Bam was sitting outside. I had two guns on me. I was gonna air Bam out. The only reason why I killed Bam there, because he started crying and he admitted to it to everybody in there and said he was gonna go get help. And then after that, the niggas, the heads of Zulu Nation tried to cover the shit up again. They sat up there and they said they was going to put. They said that I was COINTELPRO, that I was a government witness, and I called Ahmed. Ahmed was Bam's manager slash roommate. The house of one of the houses that all that shit was happening in. That was on his house. So I said, you know what? I hit Ahmed up. I said, listen, man, if y'all going, I'm not gonna let y'all niggas. I got molested by this nigga. Now the world know he gonna turn me into a rat too. I said, y'all got 24 hours to apologize for that statement that y'all put up, or I'm going to the precinct and I'm going to tell them that you and Dad was my co-defendant on that body. So within 24 hours, them niggas start apologizing, and that's when they got silent. That's why you don't hear Bam saying nothing. Bam doesn't say nothing. He doesn't even mention me because he know. And my whole thing is Hassan Campbell ain't never told on the nigga. I never took the nigga to court, never sued the nigga, none of the rest of that. Now I started to take the nigga to court to sue the nigga, even though I didn't want no money from the nigga. But the reality of it is Ron Savage the whole time was playing deep cover. So the same lawyer that Layla Wills got me was the same lawyer that he had. Ron Savage went to the lawyer and told him all the story was just a lie to extort Africa Bambaataa. And now the same nigga that was all over the newspaper crying saying Bam raped him is now sitting up there, basically trying to take me to court and sue me. So he's using a victim against a victim. And this is the same shit they did in the Michael Jackson case. When you pay attention to Michael Jackson, it's like, okay, some of those kids came and said, Mike, you ain't do nothing. And it's washing away from the kids that he really did touch, because he really did touch some of them kids. Michael Jackson got ways that's just like Bambaataa. You can see the aura and the energy in the nigga. I don't give a fuck how much we love Michael Jackson. That nigga's a pedophile.
Nah,
And
hold
Bam is
on.
too.
Hassan. I didn't say nothing. I don't really want to say nothing. But I can't let you come on this platform and do that, bro. I can't. I can't, bro. I can't.
I mean,
I'm just
I
being
understand how you listen. I understand how you feel, but
because the
sometimes
same people, hold on, son, the same people that said it years later, they said it was a lie. You see
not
what
all
I'm
of
talking
them.
about?
Not all of them. And see, I want you to look at my situation and study the rules of the game and how conniving niggas is. In the beginning, I knew something wasn't right with Ron Savage. The way he came out with the whole activist movement and helped the courts to open up their own policy where you could sue the people that molested you and bring them up on charges. He went that far and at the last minute stopped, and now he's campaigning for the Zulu Nation in the hip hop Universal Museum. The reason why I'm being attacked right now and why all my pages got shut down and they stopped my monetization because of all the money, the funding that's coming through there. You got to understand something, man. There's an energy and an aura that every pedophile has, and a victim can see it. What they did, the same thing they doing with me. Once Ron Savage recanted his story, now he made every other victim questionable. And that's the same thing that happened in Michael Jackson's case. Most pedophiles, especially famous pedophiles, people will die before they let them go to jail. Their followers and their followers, the love that they have, that the people have for them. Like, come on, look at Bishop Eddie Long. Nigga all over the news for touching all the boys. His followers didn't leave him. This nigga had a bunch of boys. And then right after that comes out, look how he died. Nigga shriveled up. Something ate that nigga from the inside. That's God.
Nah,
That's
that was
why.
called
That's
the
why.
monster. That's the monster house in
That's
Virginia.
that's why I asked you that question. You know what I mean? Because people got questions, and I know a lot of times you be on the platform. You know what I mean. You read the comments sometime or whatever, but more or less, in the bloody bunch, people gonna ask you real shit, give you an opportunity to put everything on the table. That's why I asked about the picture situation, because there was people that was like, well, yo, if it was that bad, how come, you know what I mean, he was still rocking with him? And you just broke that down. Yo, this was like my father. You know what I mean? It was a different level, you know what I mean, of connection. And that's just being honest, you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
So
yo,
for
guard. Oh, sorry.
Now
I'm at
go
work.
ahead,
My
Z. Go ahead,
bad.
Z.
Just Jimmy Hassan, what up, nigga? Um,
Zeke was good, boy.
know what's crazy? A lot of it's hearing him tell the story without arguing and yelling and screaming. It's still amazing to me. Like a lot of the original OGs that we scream in some of our neighborhoods, they was either Zulu Nation or they was running with Zulu Nation. You know what I'm saying? So Bam, even though he wore Indian heads, the man was a powerful man. You know what I'm saying? And he was very manipulative. Yes, and he dealt with a lot of manipulation. And the worst part about it was he said it from the top. Zulu Nation was for the kids. You know what I'm saying? He said it from the rip. Yo, the Zulu Nation thing is to keep the kids from killing each other. And he just went someplace else with it. He thought he was King Tut or something, or Alexander the Great. But it's good to hear you speak because my man Tom Cross, he was locked up with you and Eric. And he said it. He said y'all was paying kids full of anger. And he said you know what I'm saying, you and your Cody. And he was like, but they had a lot of pain, Zeke. You know what I'm saying? A lot of pain. And a lot of them young cats at the Bronx River had a lot of pain, son. And it's like, yo, what we know about Bronx River is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We don't know about the crazy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the reason why a lot of dudes is ain't coming
You breaking up,
niggas,
Z.
because Bam made a lot of individuals millionaires. I met Hassan from Uptown. Uptown uncle was Mickey Benson. That's Uptown's uncle. He's like, yo, Ice.